Yo, what's up guys? Coach Jonathan here with On Track Fitness, and today I'm coming at you guys with a video going a little bit further into stress and its effects on fat loss. I've made videos in the past regarding like stress and how it brings inflammation up, it has its roles on fat loss, but I haven't gone super in depth with it, and this isn't going to be like a super sciencey breakdown. I think it's relatively easy to understand the way I have it. So I want to kind of put this into visual terms for you. And as I said in my other videos about stress, I don't want this video to stress you out. I want you to just keep it in the back of your head, realize the role that it's playing, and go from there. If you work with us one-on-one, talk to us about it. Let's see if we can figure out some strategies to manage stress, to put your body in a more rest and digest state, because that could be altering fat loss a little bit, like you're gonna see right here. So what happens when you are stressed? Technically what that is your body is going to release more cortisol. Your cortisol levels are going to be higher. Cortisol is your body's stress hormone, right? What cortisol does is cortisol messes with insulin. For this instance, look at insulin as kind of like a storage hormone. But when you are super chronically stressed, you're stressed all the time, your body will develop insulin resistance, which basically what this whole cortisol effect on insulin is doing is it's making your body handle carbs worse and store fat better. That is two things that you do not want to hear. And the way that it does this is it will, kind of with insulin being a little bit more affected, your body becoming more insulin resistant, a way of looking at it is glucose, which is essentially carbs, look at it that way. Carbs are going to stay in your bloodstream for a longer period, which is going to raise your insulin levels, which with higher insulin levels is going to lead to your body storing fat at a higher rate. It's basically going to like put a lock on your cells and not let your body do the things that it's wanting to do, which can definitely play a role in fat loss, okay? So it's stress chronically over time, and this isn't just gonna be like, oh, I'm stressed out for this test, it's messing up my whole week fat loss wise. This is chronic stress over a long period of time. So if that makes sense, the stress to cortisol, cortisol to insulin, insulin being affected, being insulin resistant, kind of making your body store more fat and like use carbs a little bit less efficiently. If that all makes sense, you can kind of see like the baseline level of how stress is messing with things. However, it is not as easy as saying, okay, I'm no longer stressing, I'm done with it, fat loss continues, right? It's not that simple. So some things to do to kind of monitor this, and if you work with us one-on-one, if you worked with us for a while, you've definitely heard kind of all these things being thrown out there. However, we don't touch on it every single session if you work with us in person. So if you ever want to talk more in depth about these things, get a good strategy in place, just let us know. Because we don't want to constantly just be talking about your stress levels, because some things you want to keep to yourself, and we understand that stress happens. But some things you want to do is monitor your HRV. HRV kind of tells, is kind of a statistical number of how stressed your body is. Lower is bad, higher is good. But the big thing you want to look for is that there's not crazy dips. And if overall you can get your HRV trending higher, if like your average HRV is in the 20s, if you can get into the 30s, in the 40s, 50s, even higher, you will notice that fat will come off a little bit better, because overall this whole cycle is going to be kind of affected. Insulin levels will be happy, cortisol levels will be happy, your body will just overall be in a more rest and digest state the higher it gets. But there's also things with sickness and everything that go in HRV. I have another video on that whole thing. Going into other things to kind of prioritize decreasing overall stress on your body, prioritize sleep. And by this I don't mean just sleep more, prioritize good sleep. So deep sleep and REM sleep, the way of looking at these is deep sleep is physical recovery, REM sleep is mental recovery. They are both very important. Aim for at least an hour and a half of each. And really track that. If you have an Oura Ring, a Whoop, whatever it may be, they're not perfect at tracking sleep, but track your sleep and intentionally get better at it. Go to bed at a consistent time every night, wake up at a consistent time every morning. All those things do play a really, really big factor on just stress that you might not even realize that your body's kind of undergoing, and how you deal with stress. Going straight off that, stress management tactics. So knowing kind of how to cope with the stressors of life. It isn't possible to live a stress-free life, and it's not good to live a stress-free life. That's just not a realistic thing for anyone. So learn how you deal with stress the best. Meditation, if you go to a therapist and talk things through, if you have strict rules on when you get off social media, if you need to get off social media as a whole, whatever it may be, try to eliminate the things that stress you out that you can eliminate. And just know how to deal with all those different things. And then at the bottom, I have a star next to caffeine. Caffeine is my drug of choice, and I know many of you watching this, it may be the same thing. Caffeine though, what it does, while it is amazing, it gets you awake, it gets you focused, all those different things, is it does raise cortisol levels in itself. Drinking caffeine puts you in a more fight or flight state. So if you are caffeinated 100% of the day and you are consuming crazy amounts of caffeine, I'm not just talking like 1 cup of coffee in the morning, it could be playing it could be playing a bad role on your overall fat loss journey. And you also just don't want to do that for health reasons, right? So watch caffeine, don't have it all day. I need to remind myself of this as well, because caffeine, like I said, it's my drug of choice, but caffeine does raise those cortisol levels, so keep that in mind. So hopefully this makes a little bit of a sense of how stress actually affects you at a deeper level than just stress messes with weight loss, don't stress. If you have any questions on this, leave it in the comments below, or if you work with us one-on-one, shoot us a message in the app, mention it during our next session. We're happy to help with it, but keep this in mind, try to manage your stress the best you can, and like I said in the beginning, don't let this video stress you out more.